Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for On the Podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Katie.
Hi Katie.
Hi Liz.
What are we talking about today?
Liz, today I'm going to tell you the story of an elephant with a horribly traumatic life in the beginning of the 20th century. This is a story of Topsy the elephant. Topsy has been in pop culture. There was a Bob's Burgers episode about Topsy.
Yeah, I think I saw like a Perez Hilton blog on her once, like out like partying with Lindsay Lohan back in 2008.
Topsy was?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I'm thinking of a different elephant.
Maybe a different elephant. Topsy was born, let me give you a little bit of a background before we dive into the theories about Topsy. Topsy was born in Southeast Asia in 1875, hoping she was just going to have a normal Southeast Asian elephant life.
That was my dream when I was born too. Hasn't panned out yet.
But unfortunately, poor Topsy was ripped from her home in Southeast Asia by Adam Forepaugh. He was the owner of the Forepaugh Circus, and his plan was to introduce Topsy to the world as the first elephant born in the United States. But that wasn't actually true.
But she wasn't.
No, she was born in Southeast Asia. So the Forepaugh Circus was actually in competition with Barnum and Bailey.
Oh, yeah.
You recognize that name. They obviously won out in this thing because nobody knows about the Forepaugh Circus.
Nope.
Yeah. So Barnum was like, "You're lying. I know Topsy wasn't born there." And he was like, "Oh, you're right. I'm sorry."
Barnum was like known for like really sticking to the truth. Never once fabricated anything.
Okay, I will trust you on that.
Don't. He runs a circus
Of
the 1800s.
Of the 18 and
It's all
early
lies.
1900s, yeah. Does not seem like a truth-telling career.
No.
Necessarily. So, at maturity, let me give you a scope of how big Topsy was. Topsy was 10 feet high, 20 feet long, and she weighed about 4 to 6 tons. So she's a big girl.
Big girl.
Big girl. So poor Topsy. So she's in this Forepaugh Circus. She's performing. But when, like any animal in captivity of any sort, if you put them under stressful situations, they're going to push back and things are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm researching this, just the animal cruelty, and I don't mean to laugh about that, but it was horrible.
Yeah, the circus is messed up.
Oh my God.
You know what else is messed up? SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Well,
That's
we can cut that out.
We'll
talk about
cover
that another time.
in a different episode. Poor Topsy. Okay, so the first episode, I guess, that Topsy went through, she killed a spectator, James Fielding Blount, in Brooklyn, New York. That happened on May 27th, 1902. So Blount was wandering.
Okay, so this was at the circus. She wasn't just like in Brooklyn and like got into a dispute at a bodega and killed this guy?
No.
Okay.
Blount was drunk, though. So he's wandering around this circus tent and he starts teasing them. He's drunk. And supposedly he threw sand in Topsy's face and then burnt the tip of her trunk with a lit cigar.
It's messed up.
It's so messed up. Like, don't treat animals like that. But it makes sense that a wild animal, would react in a situation. So Topsy threw Blount on the ground and then crushed him.
Yeah, I mean, if you are going to start a fight with a wild animal, which you shouldn't, definitely don't start one with a 4-ton
4-ton elephant.
4-ton anything. A 4-ton duck? I'm not going there.
I would like to see a 4-ton duck. I don't know that exists. So there were different claims around Topsy's life after that. Some people claim she killed up to 12 men. For sure, she killed at least 2 other circus workers. So she doesn't have a great track record up to this point. But because she killed a whole bunch of people and because it's the early 1900s, they're like, we're going to cash in on this. So they start headlining like Topsy the Killer Elephant. And so she brings in huge crowds, and that leads to, unfortunately, another incident. So this one happened in June of 1902 in Kingston, New York. Louis Dondero was using a stick to like tickle Topsy behind the ear, and Topsy like wrapped her trunk around Dondero, threw him in the air, and then he like fell to the ground to his death.
I mean, once you've had your first kill,
you don't know what's going to happen from there. So the Four Paw Circus decided, all right, Topsy is a little too wild for us. We have to get rid of her. We have to sell her. So then Topsy was sold in June of 1902 to Paul Boynton, and he was the owner of Coney Island's Sea Lion Park.
love me a good Coney dog. Love me a good Sea Island.
Sea Island Coney dog.
Sea Lion Island dog.
Never been to Coney Island, don't know. I'll have to go and try one. The Sea Lion Park was sold, and Topsy was used in promotions to show the growth of the next company that was coming in. Topsy was like moving logs, building materials. So like her life of unease is continuing at this point.
So she wasn't, like, the intention wasn't for her to just dress like a sea lion and...
No, so there were other animals at the
Okay.
Sea Lion Park,
Okay.
but Topsy, yeah. So
confusing advertising.
they were using her as advertising. Poor Topsy. Her life of unease is continuing. So they decided that they couldn't handle her, but they couldn't give her away. Nobody wants Topsy the Killer Elephant at this point, and they're like, we don't know what to do with her. They
So-
decided that they were going to kill Topsy. Poor Topsy has a death sentence put on her. There was a press release sent out on December 13th of 1902 saying that Topsy would be put to her death in a matter of days by electrocution.
Sounds like a lot of electricity.
So this is where the story gets...
Did they even have electricity back then?
There was electricity, and this is where the father of electricity, Thomas Edison, comes into the story.
I thought it was
It was.
Benjamin Franklin and Jesus Christ.
Let's say the father of modern electricity, maybe.
Okay.
Modern electricity. They said that they were going to put her to death by electrocution. The owner of the Sea Lion Park at that point was like, well, maybe we try to hang her. Can you imagine?
Holy cow. I mean, what are you hanging her off of?
I don't know. I could not find any details of that. But like we are imagining right now, that did not come to fruition because how do you hang a 4 to 6 ton elephant? That's insane.
Or a 4 to 6 ton duck.
Or a 4 to 6 ton duck. So, the president of the ASPCA, as we know from those horribly sad dog commercials that we see.
Arms of the angels.
So the president of the ASPCA, John Peter Haynes, steps forward and he's like, you don't need to torture this poor elephant by killing her in an inhumane way. And you can't. Oh, and I forgot to tell you this important detail. They were going to charge people money to come and see Topsy's death. Let me just put a little caveat in of saying the world has changed since the early 1900s. Can you imagine paying money to go see an animal being killed?
I mean, I would imagine that somewhere in the world this is happening still.
Well, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. It's horrible. I just can't even imagine it. So the ASPCA guy was like, you're not going to kill her by hanging her, and you can't charge people to come and see this animal killed. This is a horrible thing. So they decided to kill her with electricity and poison.
Dang.
I know. But they decided on the poison as well as electricity because in 1901, there was an attempt to electrocute another elephant named Jumbo 2. And that was botched. It went horribly. So they're like, we have to ensure that Topsy's not going to be inhumanely killed. We have to do this in a humane way.
By electrocution and poison.
By electrocution and poison.
The poison could do it on its own, but why not just toss a little bit of electrocution in there as well?
Because it's 1903.
Because it's 1903. It's a cool, hot new technology.
So let's show it off a little bit. So that's where the Thomas Edison thing comes in. So the date of Topsy's death was set for Sunday, January 4th, 1903. There was an estimated 1,500 spectators and 100 photographers, as well as the ASPCA people, to make sure that this is being done humanely. So there are theories, Liz. You recognize Thomas Edison. Yes. Good. Well,
the name, yes.
So how Thomas Edison is tied into this whole thing is the Edison Electrical Illuminating Company of Brooklyn is the one setting up this huge contraption to ultimately kill Topsy. There are theories that he was in this for a profit, that he was just doing this to like show, wow, look at how powerful electricity is, which is horrible. There was the war of the currents at the time to show the dangers of the alternating current. So Thomas Edison gets tied up in this whole thing. Also, interestingly enough, on the day that Topsy was killed, there was a film made. Don't watch it. It's horrifying.
Bad news, Katie. I
watched it too. Ugh, don't go watch it.
I was forced to watch it in school.
In school?
Oh, I mean film school.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Film school. So the Edison Film Company recorded this thing, and they were also viewable by Edison kinetoscopes. So there's a lot tied to Thomas Edison's name. But I will tell you that Edison was no longer involved in the electrical lighting business. He had been forced out of control by his company in 1892 in a merger with GE.
He just had his name on everything. So there's not necessarily a tie. It's just an unfortunate coincidence. So poor Topsy on January 4th, 1903, after a lot of work to get her to the actual platform where all the electricity is set up, was fed carrots laced with 460 grams of potassium cyanide. Oh, dang.
And electrocuted to a crowd of people who weren't paying, by
Honestly,
the way.
None of that sounds humane.
It's horrible. It's horrifying and it's horrible. And it's weird that it's connected to Thomas Edison. And it's weird just in general of like animal practices in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
So a happy topic today, but a very interesting one.
Very interesting. I would love to know how we went from feeding potassium cyanide carrots to elephants to sad dogs on TV that we're supposed to adopt.
Well, at least they stepped in and they were protecting Topsy.
Yeah. Things have changed.
Things have changed. Elephants to dogs. There's a lot of history in between those two for the ASPCA, though.
Wow. Katie, I am depressed. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. But hey, at least you know what is now inside of your body.
Feels like a little bit of knowledge.
So thanks for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Catch you on the flippity flap.